always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. Woo! Hard. You know, when we come to a marriage and we say vows to each other, part of the vows are the acknowledgement in sickness and in health and for richer, for poorer, that there's this reality, that there's this commitment that's coming where things might not always be great. And so we commit ourselves to each other. But the great thing about love, and as your relationship has developed, and as you've gotten to know each other more and more, when you first started dating is an interesting enterprise because, you know, the first date, you're like trying to hide all the worst parts about yourself because you want to make this great first impression on the person that you're trying to woo. But what love does is love actually grows, and love is this it's this thing that allows us to know each other and still love each other. To know everything about each other, to get to know each other more and more, to accept the imperfections, and still love each other. That's what we all want. We want to be known and loved. And we're always afraid that if we're known, we won't be loved. And yet in the midst of this, it's what love is and what holds it together. And that's why love requires something beyond two human beings. It requires someone who actually does love us in that way, someone who loves us, the one who is love. God is love. Marriage is about love, it's about acceptance, and it's going to be about forgiveness. And the only way those things are possible is actually through the strength of another, through the strength of Christ, who actually loves and accepts and forgives, even knowing the worst about us. Marriage and love with two people are really just two broken people reminding each other of their Savior. And really, we're here to remind you and each other that you weren't made to save each other. If you try, it's going to be hard. But you have been held and you have been saved by another, which actually then frees you to love each other in the midst of these vows. So we're here to commit that love together to each other. So I am going to, you can join hands now as you face each other. And you just have to say yes, Brad, to this first. And before God and these witnesses, will you, Brad, take Brea to be your wife? Will you love and comfort her, honor and keep her, both in joy and sorrow, for as long as you both shall live? Will you? Brea. Before God and these witnesses, will you, Brea, take Brad to be your husband? Will you love and comfort him, honor and keep him, both in joy and sorrow, for as long as you both shall live? Will you? And now it's time for the vows, and they have written their vows. And so you have to read loud. And maybe if you could crank me up, we can cover them. So, Brad, you can go first.
Inside as you are out, by the way you care for people and the way you smile. You have one of the biggest, most caring and loving hearts I've ever seen. And I'm so glad to be able to have you by my side for the rest of my life. I know that when we're old and it's been many years have passed, that we'll still have the same love that we have today. From the first time we hung out, you were the one because you paid for my beers and sucked down raw oysters. But I'm glad God brought you in my life and gave me the woman I've always been searching for. Thank you for everything you do.
weddings are full of symbolism, and one of those symbols is the ring. So do you have rings? Brad, you can go first. As you place this on Bree's ring finger, you can repeat after me. Go ahead and place it on Bree. I give you this ring as a symbol of our unending love. Okay. And Brad, or Bree, do you have a ring for Brad? Oh. Bree, repeat after me. Brad, I give you this ring as a symbol of our unending love. Okay. One of the other symbols of the wedding is the way a wedding ends is with a kiss. And the kiss is certainly a symbol of love, but one of the symbols of a kiss is that when a kiss is an act where there's actually physically no separation between the two. There's no separation between those who are kissing. And one of the reasons the wedding ends with a kiss is the reminder for us that what God has put together, let nothing separate. And so even with the kiss, there is this symbol of this no separation forever. So Brad and Bree, you may kiss each other. He's ready to party. But I get to be the first to introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Brad Carroll.